everybody don't know about Terry's side at all. They think it's just one side.
As I approached the house to do the interview with Danny Dogman Jones, I must admit I was a little intimidated. But as you will see in this interview, part one, that he is the most humble, peaceful man that I've ever known, or anybody's ever known to be in the Black Mafia family. Please sit back and enjoy part one, The Untold Story.
My name is Danny Jones. They call me Dogman, aka Dogman. I first started off with a BMF member, which I didn't know at that time. That's what the name was at that time. As time went on, and I got to moving up the ladder, then that's when I found out BMF. But I first come in contact with them selling dogs to them.
Okay. Like, what kind of dog did you sell?
I sold American Bulldogs. That was the first breed that I was successful with.
Okay.
And that's how I started off, selling American Bulldogs from there, and then it just took off from there.
How many dogs did you actually sell them?
A
lot.
A lot.
What were how did they just came up and they just saw you?
No, one day I was in the front yard, and I had my dogs out there in the front yard, and I had a guy come by there, and he stopped by there. He had a Cadillac Escalade. It was sharp truck. So and he the puppy they was too young for him to get him right then and there. Then he said, "I'll be back in a couple of weeks." Well, you know how people always say, "Oh, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll come back." So I ain't thinking that. I was like, "Yeah, he full of it, So he came back, and my girl said, "Somebody at the door for you." I said, "Who?" And she said, "Wani." I said, "Who?" She said, "Wani." I said, "Oh." I said, "Oh, that's the guy that said he's gonna come back." So when he came back, and matter of fact, he took pictures of the dog, and he sent the pictures to Meech first, and then Meech was the first person I sold my American Bulldogs in the Black Mafia family.
Okay.
So I ended up shipping 2 dogs to Meech. He ended up buying 2. Then the other brother, Terry, he ended up buying 2, which I babysit his. Terry kept his dogs here at the house.
How long
after
selling all your dogs to them did you get to go away with them or learn more about what they were really doing?
Well, it was. I started off as like I say, I used to work on the railroad. I worked on the railroad for 13 years. So at that time, me and Wayne, he said, "Dan, I want you to take me down to Atlanta, drive me down to Atlanta." He said, "You sure you can drive me down to Atlanta?" I said, "Sure, ain't no problem." So he said, "I'll take care of you." And so I drove him down to Atlanta. He sat in the back seat, and I drove him down there. Didn't ask no questions or nothing. That's where he wanted to go. Drove him back. So he said, "Well, how would you like to drive for me?" And I said, he said, "I want you to become my personal driver." So I said, "Yeah, I'll do it. I don't have a problem with it." And he said, "Each time you drive for me, you get paid. When we get back to St. Louis, you don't have to wait for your money. It'll be there." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to try it." At that time, like I said, I worked on the railroad. I've been frostbit 3 times on my hands. So at that time, then they kept laying me off. I had a house note, and I had 2 car notes, and I had 2 kids I had to take care of. So I started off as his driver for a while. I became his personal driver, driving him whenever he needed to go out of town. He called me, I'd be there.
With no question, you never questioned anything?
No. I just took that. I took that chance, and I figured some things in due time I'll find out. So, but at that time, like I said, I kind of had a suspicious, because when I first got my first paycheck, I said, okay, all right. So I still asked no questions,
Okay.
you know. So, and I went from there.
So you never had any worries or anything?
No, I mean, even when he put the duffel bags in the trunk of the car, no, I mean.
So what was your first transaction of being on your own? Like, how long after, like what year did you actually start doing your own thing where they put you in charge or made you over things?
Well, as time went on, I was doing the driving for them, and then as years went on, then I started remodeling the houses with them. With them, I started working with Pops, which is Terry Daddy. That's who I work with. You know, when Pop was in town, Wani had a house he bought where Pops would come in, which is Terry Daddy. Me and him used to work together. I used to show him where all the Home Depot at, the Lowe's, where to get all the material for the house.
Before you move on, I'm sorry to cut you off. Could you like tell people who don't know who Wani is, so they'll know who you're talking about?
Wani is he's a BMF member also. He was maybe first in the position that I end up moving up in. That's where Wani was at.
Okay.
Dewan Gallon.
Okay.
So he was the BMF for St. Louis at that time. So, and also he used to deal with both brothers, you know. So it's two sides. Everybody don't know about Terry. Terry's side at all. They think it's just one side, but it never was. At one point in time, they was together. Brother was together, and then all of a sudden they decided, for whatever reason, I don't know to this day now, whatever reason, they decided to go their own ways. And Terry did his side, Mitch did his side, but I was on Terry's side, because then how I ended up on Terry's side is because that was the side that Wani was so Wani was the person who brought me in the game. Wani used to buy property and renovate, and T-Daddy used to help, you know, renovate some of them, not all of them. And I ended up buying a house with Terry. You know, T ended up buying a house.
Okay.
I put the house in my name.
Okay.
Which is the last house that he got arrested in. But just before he got arrested, I told him, I said, well, I think it's about time I might take the house out of my name and put it in another name. Which he said, okay, we had some of the drivers that we didn't want to know where the house was at, and that was our money house. Okay. We had two houses, actually. We had a money house, and we had a lab house. So the money house is where the feds came at and got him.
How much money did y'all keep in the money house at a certain time?
The most we ever had in there, maybe about close to $4 million.
And that was on daily or monthly? Or?
We had an operation that it was around the clock, 24 hours. I didn't get no sleep.
Okay. That's a life.
Yeah, I didn't get no sleep. I had to make sure when I was responsible for the cars getting in, and I was responsible for the cars getting out. I was responsible for the guys flying in from Miami, responsible for those guys getting out. Same thing with the guys from Detroit.
Mitch, the first dog. Did you still have dealings with him at all? Or
no, I mean I seen Mitch, and me and Wani, we went down to Atlanta, and I actually met Mitch. I talked to him on the phone quite a few times, but I actually met him. He was coming downstairs. He said, "I know who you is already. You dog man." Actually, that's what Terry gave me that name. Okay, so I met him when he was coming down to his Phantom. He had a white Phantom downstairs in the garage. I said, "Man," he said, "you hang around, you better get your own pretty soon." I said, "Yeah, it'll be a long time." So I met him, but that was the last time, first time I met him, and the last time I had seen him, because I want people to hear my side. That's why it's called the Untold Story. And so with this story being said, it's going to expose the person who shot me. And why did he shoot me? It was about greed. He didn't have to do that.
Where will people be able to get the book and when?
They can get it right now. It's on Amazon. You can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the major bookstores. You can get it anywhere. You can order it offline. You have to do order it offline.